The glass shattered. A waiter dropped an expensive wine bottle, and the sound echoed across the luxury restaurant like a gunshot. Conversation stopped instantly. Every eye turned toward the private table in the center of the room. Because the man sitting there was someone no one wanted to disturb. Mr. Kong, the most feared Korean mafia boss in Seoul. His presence alone made the entire restaurant feel colder. But tonight, no one was staring at him. They were staring at his daughter. The little girl sitting quietly beside him had just whispered something. A single word. And the entire room froze. Because for 8 years, she had never spoken. Not once. The child's small hand was holding the sleeve of a waitress standing beside the table. A black waitress. The manager rushed forward nervously. Mr. Kong, I'm so sorry about the disturbance. Mr. Kong raised a hand. The manager stopped immediately. The mafia boss wasn't looking at him. He was staring at his daughter. Hannah, his voice came out rough. What did you say? The little girl tightened her grip on the waitress's sleeve and looked up at her again. Then she repeated the word softly. Stay. The waitress blinked in confusion. She didn't understand why everyone suddenly looked like they had seen a ghost. Across the table, Mr. Kong slowly stood up. His chair scraped loudly against the floor. You, he said quietly, staring at the waitress. The poor girl suddenly realized something was wrong. I'm sorry, sir. Did I do something? How did you do that? The question stunned her. Sir, my daughter, Mr. Kong said, his voice low and dangerous. She has not spoken a single word to anyone in 8 years. The waitress stared at him, completely shocked. The entire restaurant staff was watching now. Some of them looked terrified. The manager stepped closer to the waitress and whispered urgently. Do you know who that is? She shook her head slowly. I just started working here last month. The manager's face turned pale. That's Mr. Kong. The name hit her like ice water. Amara had heard the rumors. Everyone in Seoul had. Mr. Kong wasn't just rich. He was powerful. The kind of powerful that made people disappear. And somehow, his daughter was holding her sleeve like she refused to let go. Amara looked down at the girl gently. Hey, she said softly. It's okay. The child stared at her with big eyes. Then something shocking happened again. The girl smiled. A small, fragile smile. Mr. Kong looked like the world had stopped turning. Hannah, he whispered. The girl didn't look at him. She kept staring at Amara. Stay. The word came out clearer this time. Amara knelt slightly, so she was closer to the girl's height. You want me to stay? She asked gently. Hannah nodded. The restaurant staff exchanged shocked looks. Mr. Kang's hands were trembling slightly. For years, doctors had tried everything. Psychologists, therapists, special schools. Nothing worked. His daughter never spoke. Not even to him. But now, she was talking to a waitress she had just met. Amara looked back at Mr. Kong nervously. Sir, I think she just wants company. Mr. Kong stared at her like he was trying to understand something impossible. Then he spoke slowly. What is your name? Amara. Where are you from? Nigeria, sir. Hannah squeezed her sleeve tighter. Mr. Kong noticed immediately. Sit, he said suddenly. Amara blinked. Sir. Sit, he repeated. The manager looked horrified. But Amara carefully sat in the empty chair beside Hannah. The little girl immediately relaxed. For the first time that night, she picked up a spoon and took a small bite of dessert. Gasps quietly spread among the staff. The manager whispered to another waiter. She never eats in public. Mr. Kong sat down again slowly. His eyes never left Amara. What did you say to her? Amara shook her head. Nothing special. Hannah tugged on her sleeve again. Amara smiled at her. You like cake? Hannah nodded slightly. Mr. Kong looked like he was watching a miracle unfold. The girl who had refused to communicate with the world for 8 years was now calmly eating dessert beside a waitress. Then Hannah spoke again. Pretty. The word was soft. But everyone heard it. Amara laughed quietly. Thank you. Mr. Kong leaned forward slowly. Hannah, can you say something to me? The little girl froze. Her smile faded. She looked down at the table. Silence returned. Mr. Kong closed his eyes briefly. The moment was gone. But Hannah gently touched Amara's hand again. Stay. Amara hesitated. She looked at the manager. The manager looked terrified. But Mr. Kong spoke calmly. You will stay. It wasn't a request. It was an order. Before the story continues, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy powerful emotional stories like this. It helps the channel grow and brings you more stories you won't forget. Now back to what happened next. That night changed everything. Because the next morning, Amara received a message that would pull her into the most dangerous world in Seoul. And it came directly from the Korean Mafia boss. The black car was already waiting outside her apartment. Amara stopped walking. Her heart started beating faster. Two men in dark suits stood beside the car like statues. The kind of men who didn't smile, didn't talk, and didn't look like they took no for an answer. One of them stepped forward. "Miss Amara." It wasn't a question. She swallowed. "Yes. Mr. Kong would like to see you." The words made her stomach tighten. Everyone in Seoul knew what it meant when a mafia boss wanted to see you. But refusing wasn't an option either. The man opened the back door of the car. "Please." Amara hesitated for a moment before getting inside. The door shut behind her with a heavy thud. The car pulled away immediately. For the entire ride, no one spoke. Seoul's busy streets slowly disappeared behind them as the car moved toward the quiet hills outside the city. Finally, the gates appeared. Huge iron gates. Guards everywhere. Cameras watching every movement. The car rolled inside. Amara realized something frightening. This wasn't just a mansion. It was a fortress. The car stopped in front of a massive house. One of the guards opened her door. "Mr. Kong is waiting." Her legs felt weak as she stepped out. Inside the mansion, everything was silent. Too silent. The man led her down a long hallway. Then he stopped at a large wooden door and knocked once. "Mr. Kong." "She's here." A calm voice came from inside. "Send her in." The door opened. Amara stepped inside slowly. Mr. Kong was sitting behind a large desk. But he wasn't alone. Hannah was sitting beside him. The moment the little girl saw Amara, something incredible happened. She jumped off the chair and ran toward her. The guards outside looked shocked. Hannah wrapped her arms around Amara's waist tightly. Amara laughed softly, surprised. "Hey there." Mr. Kong watched the scene carefully. His daughter had never run toward anyone before. "Sit," he said. Amara gently guided Hannah back to the sofa and sat beside her. Mr. Kong leaned forward slightly. "My daughter refused breakfast." Amara blinked. "Oh, she refused lunch." Amara looked at Hannah. "Why?" The girl looked up at her and whispered, "You." Mr. Kong exhaled slowly. "You see the problem." Amara looked uncomfortable. "Sir, I'm just a waitress. You are the only person my daughter has spoken to in 8 years." The room went quiet. Hannah was holding Amara's hand again, like she was afraid she would disappear. Mr. Kong stood up slowly. "I will be direct." Amara felt her chest tighten. "I want you to work here." Her eyes widened. "Work here?" "Yes. I can't just quit my job like that." Mr. Kong reached into a drawer and placed a paper on the desk. Amara leaned forward and looked at it. Her jaw dropped. It was a contract. The salary was more money than she had ever seen in her life. "Sir, this is too much." "It is nothing," Mr. Kong said calmly. "For you maybe. For my daughter's voice, it is very little." Amara didn't know what to say. Hannah tugged on her sleeve again. "Stay." The word was soft, but it carried so much emotion. Amara looked at the little girl's face. Something about her eyes felt sad, lonely, like she had been trapped in silence for years. Amara sighed quietly. "Can I ask something first?" Mr. Kong nodded. Why did she stop speaking? The room instantly became tense. Mr. Kong didn't answer immediately. His jaw tightened slightly. Finally he spoke. "Something happened 3 years ago." "What happened?" Mr. Kang's eyes turned colder. She saw something she should not have seen. Amara felt a chill run down her spine. After that, she never spoke again. Hannah suddenly squeezed Amara's hand tighter. Her small body was shaking slightly. Amara gently rubbed her back. "It's okay." Hannah buried her face against her arm. Mr. Kong watched quietly. Then something strange happened. Hannah whispered something again. Very softly. Amara leaned closer to hear. "Bad man." Amara frowned slightly. "What bad man?" Hannah didn't answer. She just held Amara tighter. Mr. Kang's eyes darkened. "What did she say?" Amara hesitated. "She said, bad man." Silence filled the room. Mr. Kong slowly looked toward the window, like he already knew exactly who she meant. But before anyone could speak again, a loud alarm suddenly blared outside the mansion. Guards started shouting in the hallway. Footsteps rushed past the door. Amara jumped. "What's happening?" One of the guards burst into the room. "Boss." Mr. Kong stood immediately. "What is it?" The guard looked furious. "There's been a breach at the outer gate." The room went completely silent. Mr. Kang's voice turned deadly calm. "Who?" The guard swallowed. "They left a message." "What message?" The guard hesitated before answering. It says. He looked at Hannah, then back at Mr. Kong. They're coming for the girl. Amara's heart nearly stopped, and Hannah tightened her grip on her arm, like she already knew the nightmare was beginning. Before the story continues, comment below and tell me what you think will happen next. And don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the story so far. Because what happened that night was something no one inside that mansion was prepared for, and it would force the Mafia boss to face the most dangerous enemy he had ever made. The alarm kept screaming through the mansion. Red security lights flashed across the walls. Amara's heart was pounding so hard she could barely breathe. Guards rushed through the hallway outside, shouting orders. Heavy footsteps thundered past the door as the entire estate suddenly turned into a battlefield. Mr. Kong didn't panic. He became colder, more focused. Lock the inner gates, he ordered calmly. The guard nodded quickly. Yes, boss. Double the security around this wing. Yes, boss. The guard ran out immediately. Mr. Kong turned toward Amara. For now, you stay with Hannah. Amara nodded, though fear was rising in her chest. What if they get inside? Mr. Kong looked directly at her. They won't. But something in his eyes suggested he wasn't completely sure. Hannah's small fingers tightened around Amara's hand. Scared, the little girl whispered. Amara pulled her gently into a hug. It's okay. I'm here. Mr. Kong watched the moment silently. Then suddenly another guard rushed into the room. Boss. Mr. Kong turned sharply. What? The guard's face was pale. The outer security team found something. What? A body. The room fell silent. Mr. Kang's voice dropped lower. Whose? One of our men. The guard hesitated. And there's a message carved into the wall beside him. Mr. Kang's eyes narrowed. What does it say? The guard swallowed. It says, the girl remembers. Amara felt a chill spread down her spine. She looked down at Hannah. The little girl was shaking again, hiding against her. Mr. Kong noticed immediately. His jaw tightened. Leave us. The guard hesitated. But boss. Leave. The guard quickly left the room. Now only the three of them remained. Mr. Kong slowly sat down across from Amara and Hannah. Hannah. The little girl didn't look at him. She clung to Amara instead. Hannah, he repeated softly. Do you remember the bad man? The girl froze. Her breathing became uneven. Amara gently rubbed her back. It's okay, she whispered. You're safe. Hannah slowly lifted her head. Her eyes looked wet. Then she spoke again. Red. Mr. Kong frowned. Red. Red tie. Amara looked at Mr. Kong. What does that mean? Mr. Kong didn't answer immediately, but his face had gone completely cold, because he knew exactly who she was talking about. 3 years ago, on the night everything changed. There had been a man wearing a red tie, one of his most trusted lieutenants, a man named Park Min-jae, and that man had betrayed him. Park had stolen money from the organization and tried to escape. Mr. Kang's men had chased him down, but Park disappeared before they could catch him. Everyone believed he had fled the country. But now, Mr. Kong slowly stood. He's back. Amara felt confused. Who? The bad man. Hannah squeezed her hand tightly. Scary man. Mr. Kong walked toward the window slowly. If Park believes Hannah remembers what she saw that night. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Amara already understood. He wants to silence her. Mr. Kong turned back toward them. But before he could say anything, a loud explosion shook the mansion. The windows rattled violently. Amara screamed slightly in shock. What was that? A guard's voice shouted through the hallway. They blew the outer gate. Mr. Kong moved instantly. Stay here. But Hannah suddenly grabbed his sleeve. The little girl looked terrified. Daddy, don't go. The word hit the room like lightning. Mr. Kong froze. Amara gasped. Hannah had never called him that before. Not since she stopped speaking. Mr. Kong slowly knelt in front of her. Say that again. Hannah looked at him with tears in her eyes. Daddy. For the first time in years, emotion broke through Mr. Kang's cold expression. His voice softened. I'm here. Hannah pointed toward Amara. She stays. Mr. Kong looked at Amara. Then he nodded once. She stays. Another explosion echoed outside. Gunshots followed. Mr. Kong stood again. They're here. Amara's fear returned instantly. What do we do? Mr. Kong looked toward a hidden door in the wall. Follow me. The door opened, revealing a narrow staircase leading underground. A safe room, he explained. You'll be protected there. Amara quickly stood, holding Hannah's hand. They hurried down the stairs. Inside the underground room, thick steel doors shut behind them. The outside noise became distant. But it didn't stop. Gunshots echoed faintly above. Amara sat down beside Hannah. "You're very brave," she said gently. Hannah looked up at her. "You stayed." Amara smiled softly. "Of course I did." Minutes passed. Then suddenly the steel door opened again. Amara's heart jumped. But it was Mr. Kong. He walked inside calmly. No panic. No fear. Just cold determination. "It's over." Amara blinked. "That fast?" Mr. Kong nodded. "We caught him." "Park." "Yes." Hannah looked up slowly. "Bad man." Mr. Kong knelt in front of her. "Yes." The little girl hesitated. Then she spoke again. "Go away." Mr. Kong nodded. "He will." Amara looked at him. "What will you do with him?" Mr. Kong stood quietly. His voice became cold again. "He will never come near my daughter again." Hannah squeezed Amara's hand. "Stay." Amara looked at Mr. Kong. He sighed quietly. Then he said something surprising. "If you want the job." He paused. "You can stay." Hannah smiled. A real smile this time. And Amara realized something powerful in that moment. She hadn't just helped the little girl speak again. She had changed the heart of the most feared mafia boss in Seoul. And maybe, just maybe, she had found a new family in the most unexpected place. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below your favorite moment. Your support helps bring more powerful stories like this to life. And trust me, the next story will be even more unbelievable.